What's up, bud? It's Rob. This is Apparel Success. And if you don't know who I am, I run a Canadian clothing company called K-Bud that's doing about $500,000 per year in sales. So I help clothing brands like yours get really good results. And in this video here, I want to talk to you about proof of concept. There are 3 stages to validating your clothing brand and determining whether your clothing brand has practical potential in the marketplace. And it's my opinion that a clothing brand should leave itself loose, leave itself open to change, open to modification until they've proved their concept and until they've locked in on their brand concept. And I want to cover this from every potential angle possible in this video. I really hope you enjoy. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at BrandCrowd. BrandCrowd's a logo maker tool. You type in the name of the logo you want to have made, hit enter, thousands of logos will come up. You choose the logo that you like. You edit this logo as long as you want for free until it's perfect for you. This is a Hundo P logo I made for my own clothing brand through BrandCrowd. If you're interested, head over to brandcrowd.com/apparel success and you can get 66% off at checkout. All right, so the reason why proving the concept of your clothing brand is so important is because it's going to save you a lot of money and a lot of wasted time. And it's a very common newbie move for new clothing brands to invest in the trademark of their clothing brand name before they've sold anything. To invest in thousands of dollars worth of inventory and commit hard into inventory before they've sold anything. And the reason why this is an issue is because if you overcommit to a lane like that, you overcommit to this idea that you have in your head about how your clothing brand is going to perform, how your clothing brand is going to do. And so you have this sort of delusional confidence in your brand before you've actually yielded real results in the market and you've been able to see with your eyes that people actually want it. What you're doing is you're pigeonholing yourself. You're making your brand way too rigid and locked into a certain brand concept that hasn't been proven in the early stages when your brand should be the most flexible. This is where you should be the most open to change. You should be literally constantly on a daily basis changing, reworking your website, reworking your whole messaging of your brand. And this is constantly a work in progress until you've locked into a brand concept that you feel is truly resonating with an audience. You're able to sell and you're able to see those real results in the real world. So I want to share with you the different stages of validating your concept, proving your brand concept, so that you can feel comfortable investing in more inventory and committing to it, or investing in a trademark and committing to a name. And the first stage of validating your brand, this is really common, a common experience that people have. And unfortunately, a lot of people take this to heart way too much and they run with it and they believe that this is the final stage of validating their brand, is where friends and family are giving you support. They're telling you that they like it. They're telling you that they love it. What I'm going to tell you right now is don't believe your friends and family. Don't listen to them and take their word for your brand, especially if your friends and family aren't willing to actually take out money to buy your clothing, right? Like that's when people are actually willing to spend their money on your clothing, that's the ultimate form of validation. But friends and family are so biased. They're going to feel very uncomfortable telling you, for the most part, that they don't like your brand. So in my personal opinion, I wouldn't listen too strongly to your friends and family and their opinions of your brand when you first get started. 99% of them are going to tell you amazing things, that your brand's great, that they believe in you, that you're going to be able to do this, that you're going to be able to make it work. But really, that's not a good enough test. It's not a strong enough indicator that your brand actually is on to something, that you're able to, that you should be willing to invest a crap load of money into inventory and things like that. And a step up from your family telling you that your brand's great without buying is having strangers, people that you don't know, telling you that you've got great designs, that, you know, oh, I love your brand, but they're just still not willing to take out their money to pay for it. And the best form of validation for your brand, to really solidify the proof of concept, where you know that you have something good, you know that you're going to really be able to sell this, you should lock in on that lane and really go for it, is when people that you don't know personally are willing to take out their money that they worked hard for to pay for your clothing and wear it. That's the ultimate form of validation. That's the ultimate proof of concept. When people that you don't have any personal association with, any personal attachment to, where there'd be zero bias to you as the founder, as the clothing brand owner, when those people are willing to buy your clothing, because what that indicates is that your clothing brand now has value based on what you've created that exists outside of yourself. You've created a brand that has value in and of itself outside of you as the founder, where people are able to see that value and they want to buy strictly because of the value that is emanating from your brand alone. And so what I'd say here is, don't spend a crazy amount of money on a trademark or overinvest in inventory until you've started to receive a couple dozen orders from people that you don't know coming in every week for your brand, or you're going to shows and people that you don't know are coming up and they're buying and they're really seeing the value in your brand and wanting to buy it. That's when you can really lock in, trademark your brand name, invest in some inventory, you prove the concept. Everything is almost a safe bet at that point because you've got those real world results, and the market is a really tough place. It's a natural environment. People aren't going to be as nice to you if they don't know you. And people aren't going to be as nice to you, especially when it comes to them spending their hard-earned money on something, right? They really need to see a fair transaction of value. Whereas if it's a family member, even if they don't like your clothing, they'll still spend $60 on a hoodie because they're trying to support you, because they're trying to be nice, and because they're getting something different out of it than a stranger would. And just to drill this point in even further, your friends and family likely aren't even a part of the niche that you're trying to sell to begin with. And so it really is overrated, this idea of trying to sell to friends and family at the beginning and build your brand up that way, because it's really not a strong indicator of how your brand's going to do to people that you don't know and with people that you don't know. And, to add on to this even more, if you haven't gotten to the point where you've sold your clothing brand to strangers yet, where they're willing to pay their hard-earned money for it, then constantly make changes to your brand, constantly make tweaks. This is the stage of your clothing brand where you should be most open to change. Make tweaks on your website, make tweaks to your design, to your brand name, to every potential aspect of your brand until you've really found what's working with that audience, where you've really created something that people that you don't know are willing to buy. That's the ultimate form of validation. And when you do get to that point, it's an amazing feeling. It should give you a lot of confidence if you've already reached that point, because that is really a huge turning point for you, where if, dozens of people are willing to buy your stuff that you don't know, all that it comes down to after that is locking in on that deeper and deeper, building a better and better experience for that customer, creating a better and better brand for that customer. And that's when you can really scale up, because if one person likes something, it's very likely that there's a whole other group of people that have the exact same identity, the exact same interests, the exact same appeal. And so that's when you can start scaling up and taking your brand to a whole new level. If you got a lot of value out of this video, please hit the like button for me. It really helps me get these videos out there. And let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. And if you haven't already, check out my free clothing brand marketing masterclass. All you have to do to get access is go to apparelsuccess.com/masterclass. You can watch the whole thing for free. And if you made it to this point in the video, I want to tell you about the closed Facebook group that we have for Apparel Success. There's a link in the description. Follow that link, join us in the group, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.